showing this. Looks, Insight OEE is a pretty cool feature, but it won't last the 45 minutes that we have slated. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. So session 2 is going to be Insight OEE. If you are unfamiliar with OEE, OEE stands for Overall Equipment Effectiveness, and it's based on 3 metrics: availability, performance, and quality. So availability is runtime versus downtime. If the availability is 100%, then that means your process is always running during planned production time. And this is independent of shift over change. If maybe the business has closed for the day, that is not included in availability. Well, it's actually dependent on how your company or organization defines OEE. So this is all dependent on your company, but the industry standard is that if it's 100%, the process will be always running during planned production time. Performance is fast versus slow. If it's 100%, then it is running as fast as possible. When I say fast, I mean it is producing parts as quickly as it can, as you guys have already predefined it. And then quality is good versus a defect or a rework or a bad part. And if it's 100%, only good parts are created. So if you have a 100% quality, you don't need to rework any of them. So as I said in the beginning, in the previous in the introduction session, what you do is you take availability, multiply it by performance. You take availability, multiply it by performance, and then you multiply it by quality, and that gives you your OEE percentage. And if you're running at 85, that is an industry. Oh my God, that is amazing! Great job. And most manufacturing companies across the board, the average is about 65%. So this is a dashboard for OEE or Insight OEE, and we are going to access this from the same way we did in the previous session. But on the left-hand side, you're going to see the equipment, and that's going to show up as case packer 1 all the way through 20. On the top of the screen, you're going to see the current state of the machine, and you're going to see you can also start and stop your production run as you want to. In the top right corner, you're going to see the Oee Kpi for this active run. So it's only going to be defined for whenever you have start or stopped a run. The rainbow colored bar we have right here is the color diagram of how the machine has been running for the specific run. In this setup, green is running, orange is idle, and red is down, so unplanned downtime. So you can see there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 instances of downtime. And then you can also see the downtime reasons down here, KPIs for current shift. We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we have the different reasons for the downtime. And then we also have the top 5 downtime reasons by duration. So it looks like feed jams. And then we have a time summary. So it looks like the 22% was idle, 28% was downtime, and 50% was for runtime. So there's a utilization events, and then there's also production events. So when we click on production events, we can see the planned quantity, our ideal rate, which is our performance, and then the planned duration. And so as we move across from the start time all the way to the end time, this will track our rate versus our expected rate. And then we'll also see a rework production and good production. Now, if you want to edit any specific event while it's running, you can click on the specific square rectangle, and you're going to get an option to edit. And you can select a reason why there was a downtime, and you will be able to create your own reasons and then also use them when you edit an event. And finally, you can analyze downtime reasons, as I mentioned beforehand. So we have top 5 downtime reasons by count and also by duration. And you can also compare different machines or assets to one another. So in this graph, we can see that 5 different assets are being compared to one another based off of their availability percent. And then you can also compare against OEE analysis as well as a few other metrics. So the session we're going to be going over right now, I've already started a production, and the production goal is going to be 10,000 units. Our ideal rate is going to be 150 a minute, and our quality is going to be 100%. So we are only producing good parts. And the only reason I'm doing that is to simplify things, make it a little bit easier. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize this. And I'm going to pull up I have a virtual machine running right now. Can everyone see my virtual machine screen? Well, am I sharing the wrong screen? Let's try this again.
To your team screen.
Yeah, yep, sorry about that, guys. That is my mistake. Well, I guess we can just keep it on that one and we'll just transfer it over. Hope you guys didn't get any secret notes. All right, so I have a virtual machine currently running using AVEVA Edge. And so this is just a very generic, basic HMI that I created. And so we currently have 5 states of production. This is directly related to the graphs that we saw in the previous session, state 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And based off of the specific state, we are going to have a production rate increase or decrease. So in state 1, we have 2 widgets created every second. In state 2, we have 1 widget created every second. And then state 3, 4, and 5, we do not have any widgets being produced. And so the reason that you're not going to have any widgets in 3, 4, and 5 is 3 is an e-stop, 4 is an unplanned downtime, and 5 is maintenance or planned downtime. And so you can see here that our production count is currently increasing, and I have a timer running for each state. So when we're currently in state 3 and we're running 10 seconds, we're currently in 15 seconds over 100. When we get to 100, a random state will be generated. And so this is how we are going to be looking at our OEE. And just a quick intro, this is a AVEVA Edge that I created this in. So I have different tasks created, and I am utilizing a script for a machine state. And so basically every time that I create a new state, I generate a random value. And based on that specific random value, that tells us what state we're in. And then I copy 20 machines based off of machine 1. So when we are looking at our OEE, all of our machines OEE 1 through 20 is going to be a copy of number 1, just to make it simple. All right, so let me pull up my SkyTap machine. So if everyone can please access their SkyTap once again.
We're seeing your teams again.
Yeah, I'm thank you. Okay, so I am back in Insight, and if you forgot how to log in or you need to log in again, just go to your screen and click on Chrome, and then click on AVEVA Insight, and your login credentials are going to be on your desktop. So I'm going to click on the login credentials, and I'm going to use wwca-demo+1@gmail.com with the password wwca-demo #123. All right, so I'm going to click on my menu, and I'm going to click on Home. And remember, this is what you will see when you log into Insight. So if I go to the left-hand side and I click on Equipment Efficiency, the Equipment Efficiency dashboard will open up. So it's in the top left corner, under Menu, Equipment Efficiency. So I am currently looking at Case Packer 1. And I can also look at Case Packer 10 if I wanted to, Case Packer 12. But like I said before, they're all identical. They're all running with the same timestamp. So I'm going to look at Case Packer 1. I currently see that we are running, which is green for running, and our OEE for our specific run. So we currently have 100% quality, like I mentioned before. All of our products are good. Our availability is 87%, and our performance is 61%. So if our availability is 90%, that means that most of our run has been actually utilized for production. So I'm going to click on my time bar, not for the last hour, but I want to click on the actual run. I want to look at all of the run that we've been looking at. And so for this setup, in this demo, green is running, blue is slow, red is an e-stop, orange is down, and yellow is maintenance. So you can see that most of the graph is actually for it's running. It's either green or blue. So that's good for producing parts. And we can see that we currently have 7,874 parts being created. And if we look at our top 5 downtime reasons by count, we could see that there were 3 down and 2 e-stop. And we can count that. So I see 1 e-stop, 2 e-stop. Okay, that's good. And then 3 down. Now, orange and yellow kind of look similar, so be careful with that. Yellow is maintenance. But if I look at the downtime, I'm going to look at orange 1, orange 2, and orange 3. Cool. So that's just a sanity check. And if we wanted to look at our overall summary, we can see that 1% of the time was idle, 11% was downtime, and 86% was runtime. Now, idle has been pre-configured, and I'll show you guys at the end of this, but idle has been pre-configured to be maintenance, yellow. Does anyone have any questions so far? Okay, so if I click on, let's say I saw a e-stop and I wanted to click on it, I could click on it and edit why that was down. Now I only have very generic states for the reason, but you can also add them in the configuration screen. And then you can also add a comment. Object locked opening. And the reason we're going to say is an e-stop, and then we're going to click save. Cool. So now when I click on this again, you say, oh, there's a comment, object blocked the opening. You can also select any of these options. Let's say it wasn't correct and you wanted to merge, you could split your time definition. So I could click on the split icon and I could move this based off of where the specific time actually occurred. So if this was incorrect for whatever reason, you could edit it. You could split left, split right. And you can also merge an event. So if I clicked on green and I wanted to merge with blue, I can merge left, and so now the blue has been converted. And you guys have full control over this. You're not going to break anything if you want to change anything that's going on. Now, let's say, for instance, that we completed, let's say we were at 8,000 and we only needed to get to 8,000. We could hit stop to complete the production run. And then if I wanted to hit start, I could restart this up and I could say I'm going to make a planned quantity of 5,000. And then I could hit start. And so now our new OEE metric is going to be based off of this new runtime. And so I'm going to go back to someone who isn't using it. We're going to use machine 2 or case packet 2. Cool. So that's what everything looks like. Now, as we saw in our previous session, if I clicked on the assets page and I clicked on the specific asset, there is an OEE metric for our asset. And we can see that right here, the efficiency for the asset was at 33%. If we go back to the equipment efficiency, like I said, you can look at specific time ranges, or you can also click on the specific. Now, if I look at the production events, because we're on a new production event, so I'm going to go back to, let's see, is anyone on 10? Yep. Is anyone on 11? Nope. So look at 11. So our production events for 11. So our ideal target, so remember we said 150 minutes. That's actually not possible with the program I made, when the ideal is only 2 per second. So we're not going to get anywhere, we're not going to get near our ideal target. But we can see that our actual is 7968, but our ideal target was 13,000. So we have this wide gap for our performance. And so our performance, 60%, is based off of this actual versus ideal target. And like I said, we're currently running good production only. Now let's say that wasn't true and we ran it and we actually had 300 bottles in waste production. So I could go into 300, or I could click on add waste production, click on 300, and we're going to say that is part of waste production, and I'm going to click add. And so now we have good production of, we had produced 80902 or 8,902, but our waste production is actually 300. So that means our good production is now 8,600. And that will affect our quality. So our quality is now no longer 100%, it is 96%. Okay. Another thing we can look at is if we click on the OEE analysis, we can compare all the other machines to one another. So if we're looking at, looks like if we click on the asset icon on the right hand side, this is where we select on different assets that we want to compare with one another. And let's say I just want to look at, because we just edited 11 with the quality, and 111 and 12. So our availability is the same. We can look at so this is how we look at different machines. And if we look at our OEE analysis, that will provide us with our OEE percent, our availability, and our performance and quality. So performance was changed. Looks like 11. So remember that Case Packer 1 is now running a new production. So we're going to have a different percentage of performance. And then also with our quality, we just added 300 bottles of waste production to Case Packer 11. So that is now showing up in our quality percentage. And as I said, you can add or remove case packers or assets as you deem necessary. So if we go back to our equipment efficiency, I mentioned before that the maintenance, it's yellow, but it's yellow and orange they look very similar. So what I want to do is I want to go into our configuration, our asset configuration, and actually change the maintenance from yellow to gray. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the administration, and I'm going to click on the efficiency, equipment efficiency, and I'm going to click on equipment states. And this is where we've defined slow running maintenance e-stop down and the specific color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to export this is into an Excel sheet, and then I'm going to open it, and I'm going to change the color for maintenance from yellow to gray. I'm going to save this as let's see, equipment state export. So I'm going to save it, and I'm going to exit out. Let's see where it's saved. I need to save as. Oh, it's going to be in downloads. Okay, good. So I'm going to save this, exit out. It's a CSV file, so it always asks if you want to save it again. So now I'm going to import that file we just updated. So I'm going to click on the import option. And I'm going to click on the specific file. And I'm going to access the downloads folder. And I'm going to click on equipment state export. I'm going to click open. Oh, what happened? Let's open up our download. Oh, looks like it converted everything. That's kind of weird. Let's try this again. We're going to export. And I'm going to change the yellow to gray. And I'm going to, save as, and save it in downloads. Equipment export. And I'm going to save it as a CSV file. Equipment export new. Okay, let's see if it works now. All right. So we just imported the new file. And so we can see now that maintenance is now gray. Cool. So let's go back to our OE dashboard and see if that works. So I'm going to click on the top left corner, click on home. And then I'm going to go back to the equipment efficiency. And if I look at Case Packer 1, let's maximize. And there we can see now that our maintenance has now been assigned the color gray. So I think that's a little bit easier to identify than yellow. Does anyone have any questions?
We did have a few come in. Our first one is, does OEE come with the Insight product, or is it licensed separately?
It is licensed separately. Josh or Murdad, do you want to confirm that?
I'm sorry, would you repeat the question?
I got it, Murdad. Sorry, I was looking for the mute button there. Yeah, so there are two types of licenses for the on the user side, and the operations users are or performance users are what you need for the OEE module.
Great, thanks guys. Looks like there's another question about you cannot edit and save a CSV file or all fields concatenate like that. Oh, save as Excel, not CSV. Oh, is that the issue that I had? That might have been it. Thank you, Steve. Wait, is that a question or a comment? Yeah.
Comment.
Oh, okay. Yeah. When I had saved these other files originally, I saved them as a CSV file. I'll have to look at what happened with that. But thank you. Oh, looks like someone saved my Case Packer 1 totally fine, but they saved it as purple. Who did that? Congratulations. No one wants to come up. No one wants to take credit for it. It looks great. I think purple looks a lot better than gray. Any other questions?